Hello, my name is Shia. I'm gonna be showing you how to play the Moblade, how to maximize your DPS in dummy, in pugs, and also in a speedrun. I'm gonna talk about inner ways, set effects, stats, and everything else. I'd like to apologize because this is the first time I'm doing something like this, and I'm also a little bit sick, so my voice is messed up, but hopefully this answers every question you guys might have, and you can also just ask me in the comments if there's something more that you want to know. For the dummy rotation specifically, we are taking advantage of the boss damage procs that it's doing and trying to time our whole rotation around it. Couple of important notes is when you are blocking with your Moblade, you want to proc the counter as soon as it pops up. This is very important because without that you will not have time to do your proper rotation and you're going to be losing out DPS. Another important thing is you need to animation cancel your attacks as soon as the damage procs. Same with the yellow charge that we're going to be doing, you need to animation cancel it properly. And this is how it looks like. You pre-buff, you start with the red charge, and then it's always going to be a loop of what you're doing. So animation cancel here, yellow charge, proc as soon as possible, refresh your buff, apply spear vulnerability, proc the block as soon as possible. Again, animation cancel everything. I messed up a little bit here, but this is the rotation. Pretty much you just keep repeating it. When the dummy breaks, it depends on how much DPS you're doing. It might leave you in a very awkward spot. But I'm not gonna talk about that right now. You just need to figure that out on your own, kinda. Like this, I pretty much did 13k DPS. And this was before I upgraded my gear, so it should be a little bit higher right now. For the pugs, since we cannot rely on the boss always attacking us at the perfect time, the rotation is a little bit different, but the logic behind it is the same. We're gonna be fully buffed, double charging red charge with still animation cancel just to save time. We're going to spear to apply debuff, refresh our shield, and then back to red charging. If you just practice this rotation, you're gonna be doing like above 10k DPS on the dummy, and if you're good on a boss, probably the same there as well. So as long as you perfect this, it's gonna be good enough for any puck scenario that you're doing, and you're gonna be topping DPS meters unless you're playing with a really good umbrella player. Of course, the Moblade suffers a lot on real bosses because of how much they run around. You can also miss them with your attacks depending on what animation they're doing. But we cannot prevent that, so we just have to live with it. The next thing I'm going to talk about is inner ways. For everyday scenario, you're always going to be running Morale Chant, Exquisite Scenery, Battle Anthem, and Adaptive Steel. You want Battle Anthem tier 4, Adaptive Steel tier 0, Exquisite Scenery tier 6 as soon as possible, and Morale Chant on tier 5. And you don't want tier 6, like it's a waste of time. So dissolve everything after these levels that you see right here. Dissolve everything to make sure you can zero out the boxes to get Exquisite Scenery as soon as possible. It's by far the best DPS increase for our build, nothing comes close. I'm gonna talk about other inner ways when I reach the speedrunning segment, but that's it for now. Set effect, it needs to be form bent. The rotation is not possible without this because this shield duration extend also works on our breakthrough buff that we are getting from the Moblade. So this is the buff here, increases the damage of charged skills by 30% for 12 seconds. For the stats, we need to look at the talents a little bit. So power or body also gives us critical rate. We will forget about body for a second because it's a bad stat. You want to stack power up until 150 minimum. Even after 150, it's still a very good stat. So it's one of the better stats for us. And this is a crit chance for our charge attacks, which for us is all of the damage. So at 90,000 base HP, we are getting 24% critical rate. And for me right now, I'm getting 23% total. So if we look at our stats, I should be 57% critical rate to be capped. I should be 100% precision rate because only precise hits can crit. And the rest of the stats should be fully physical damage and other special stats like Mowblade damage boost right here, or all weapons damage boost right here. The attune that we're looking for is always going to be Thunder Cry Blade charge skill damage boost. This is the same value as Mowblade damage boost in terms of how much it improves damage. So it's a very good attune, and ideally you want it on all of your 6 pieces here on top of physical penetration on your weapons. The weapon set is of course the Rain Whisper for the critical damage, because that's all we're doing. We're critting all the time, so we want more critical damage. That's all we need. For min-maxing purposes, you want 15% affinity rate because we're getting 80% critical rate on top of 5% direct critical rate. That leaves us with 15% of the damage that is not going to be critical. So we want affinity just to min-max a little bit more, but this is low on priority list. It's not really achievable unless you can handpick all of the stats on your gear. So for the speedrun, I'm going to show an example right here. This was from our rank 1 run that we did. I will just let it play out first, and then I'm going to talk about the reasoning behind why I do what I do here. So this run was very good for all of us. We all did really good damage. But as you can see, even as a tank, it's not like I am far behind everybody else. In fact, here I did 15.8k DPS, which is absolutely insane. And the main reason I did so much was breaking point. This inner way is by far the best on a speedrun boss like this, because so much damage that you're doing is on the exhaust state, and this buffs you like crazy because of the 25% critical damage at max stacks and 25 physical penetration on max stacks, which is insanely good stat. This stat is very powerful, and you should always, like, anything that gives you this stat, you need to take it. So breaking point, we swap out morale chant for this. In my opinion, this is the best. I didn't do the math yet, but it shouldn't be such a big difference anyway, so it should be good. We pre-buff on the boss. We start with spear. For this boss, you can be next to it because you cannot fight it until the ball is picked up. But for other bosses, you need to do this spear attack far away. Otherwise, you will start the boss. So shield buff, we start with red charge. This is the biggest nuke we can do. So we just do one nuke, which we, of course, animation cancel. We always animation cancel because this is just a little bit more damage that you can squeeze in. We go into spear. We apply the debuff that you can see. This is the heart right here. This is minus defense on a boss from our spear E. And we go back into Mowblade and we just charge. We stand on the backside of the boss, like on the side, and we attack towards his backside, because every time the boss stands up, like you see right here, if you're in the front, you might miss the attacks. And this is very big for us because of how slow we attack and how much damage each attack is. Every attack that we miss is a huge DPS loss for us, so you need to be careful about your positioning. The timing here is a little bit awkward. You see the boss is about to break and we just refreshed our shield. So we're gonna be losing our breakthrough as the boss is broken. But because of breaking point, because of the talent that we have, and because of the timing that our current party has, we are not gonna be refreshing the breakthrough just to squeeze in a little bit more damage. So we pretty much break the boss with our varied combo. This unlocks the new buff that we got, which lets us do 2 more varied combos, which we're gonna do as soon as we debuff the boss. Why? Because we wanna apply, like you see this buff right here, this is breaking point. We have gotten 1 stack of it because our varied combo attacked the boss in the exhaust state. We're gonna go into the spear, and the attack we do on the boss is gonna refresh the debuff that's about to run out. And it's also gonna give us more breaking point for our varied combo. Like you see, we got 2 more stacks here, so we're on 3 stacks. And now we do varied combo, we're on 4 stacks. And then the last varied combo we do, we're on 5 stacks. And we still have enough breakthrough to do 1 red charge, which we're gonna do right here. And I got a pretty disgusting crit here, like 48,000.5 bomba on the boss. And the varied combo we do is right before the breakthrough runs out. But because the boss is so low, if we wanted to refresh this buff right here, we wouldn't be able to do 1 full red charge here that you see me doing. And the varied combo that I do is pretty much the last hit on the boss. We would not be able to do this attack if we refreshed our buff. And I'm pretty sure this should be the best possible damage on the speedrun. So, of course, this was a very good run for all of us. The damage was absolutely insane. Because of that, the timings were like so. But it might be possible to optimize a little bit more. And for that, we would need to change our pre-buff a little bit. I'm not sure because I haven't tested it, but it could be possible to time our shield here. Like if we could do this shield like 3 seconds later, then we would be fully buffed during his exhaust, and this should also improve our damage, but the initial pre-buff needs to be changed a little bit. Basically, you need to coordinate with the party leader, and before he starts the timer, you already need to pop your shield because you want to pre-buff, and then you want the timer to start. So when you finish your fully charged attack, your cooldown comes off. You want your shield to be off cooldown when you finish this first charge. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna refresh the buff, debuff the boss, and then you're gonna be in the dummy rotation basically, because you're gonna be lining up your E and your shield. So with that, it should be possible to perfect time the debuff on the boss and also the shield refresh as the boss is broken. And this should be better. Second boss, I'm not gonna show it, not because I'm hiding our strat or something, but just because my performance there was absolutely dog. And I'm still learning the last boss because this is pretty much I've just started seriously speedrunning this boss yesterday. So after I have more info on that, I will release a follow-up video. But for now, this is pretty much it. One thing to talk about is the calculator that WindsFromCN translated for us. Like, many thanks to him. I've been actually developing my own calculator before he released this, and he just saved me so much time. So yeah, thank you. Thank you also to Plank, who was basically doing the spreadsheets and helping me find out the math when we were still doing our old calculator, even if we didn't end up finishing it. This is very helpful because it tells you which stats are the best for you. Of course, you need to input what you see in the details. You need to put your stats here as they are. The calculator itself takes into account all of the talents you have, but there is one downside. It assumes that your power is not at 150, and it also assumes that your HP is at 90,000. This is why once you hit 56%, like I am right now, it's gonna show you that critical is that stat for you. But if you're missing HP, you're actually not gonna be crit capped. So even if you're a little bit higher, it's not bad. If you're like 57%, maybe even 58%, it's not a bad thing. So don't worry about it that much. Power also loses a little bit of value once you're at 150 because it stops giving you critical once you're at 150. So 25 power, this is the max golden roll that you can get on your gear, is going to be around 0.75% crit rate. And this weighting here, like what you see, the blue number is how good the stat is compared to other stats. So of course, power is valued very high because the calculator thinks we are not at 150 power. After that, it's a little bit worse, but it's still a very good stat because power gives you max phys, and max phys is just like, you see, it's very good. But yeah, I think this is pretty much it. If there are any questions, you guys can ask them in the comments. For the boys in the speedrunning Discord, we're talking there anyway, so if I missed something, you can ask me and I'll try to explain to the best of my ability. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.